Hi, my name is Bill Ryan, and welcome to my world. A while back, I wrote a book called Aliens, What the Hell is Going On? And in this book, on chapter 11, entitled Crop Circles, I very specifically went into detail as to one particular crop circle that jumped out at me, and it clearly appeared to be a message. And as such, I saw a language when I saw this image. Now, so I wanted to expand on that aspect in the book so that people could understand it a little bit better as to where on earth I came up with this. And so this would be actually Aliens Part 2. And to help you understand how my mind works, because all of us, our minds are all just a little bit different. The body and the mind is created specifically to hold the soul, the spirit. And through that understanding, you have to see my world. And I'm dyslexic, and I've been dyslexic all my life. I was my 3s turned into E's, 9s to 6s. Reading and mathematics was extremely difficult for me, but I never let that stop me. When I was about 21, I discovered the word dyslexia. Didn't know that's what I had, and once I discovered that, I started to write. And I couldn't spell, but I could write. And I wrote everything. Mathematics, I got one of the very first Texas Instrument calculators to help me not make mistakes anymore. And it was quite an ordeal to overcome. And it took me many years to overcome that disability. But I did it on my own, and I did it through repetition. And still to this day, there are stumbling blocks that I just can't get past. So I understand where they are, and I just kind of look past them. So basically, my mind is wired different, and I see everything in images, as most of us do. But the rest of the world seems to have the ability to spell, and that's just a part of my brain that never quite developed. But on the other hand, I have a very artistic and creative mind, and a very visual mind. I can see visually impressions and patterns in history. I can see things a little bit different. And so when I looked at this image, I clearly saw writing in the circle. And the center is a plant, a trillion, I think. And I don't understand the significance of that. But I saw communication. And it appears, well, first off, I interpret these symbols, each one of these, and I very detailed, I drew each one, trying to understand what this visual language was. And so I named it Abstract Communication Interpretation. So interpretation meaning it's up to each of us to interpret it as to what its true meaning is. Much like words. We interpret those words. Sometimes each time it can be a little bit different. So interpretation is a big part of this. And through years of meditation, I learned to open my chakras and reach a stage of higher thinking, higher concentration. And so I deliberately focused on this for several weeks, actually I think over a month. And I wanted to understand it, and I wasn't going to stop until I figured it out. So I eventually started to rely on my higher consciousness, my higher self. And through that, I asked my spiritual guides to help me with the very first one, because when you look at this, there's this image here is on two places in this circle. So that to me meant it was one communication and a second communication. So it's actually divided in half. These are two separate communications. And through dreams, it was shown to me 3 times what that image represented. And through that image, when I awoke, I wrote down what I was told and what it meant to me. And in the book, I detail each one of those specific images and as to what each one of these symbols and lines and things actually meant. And in this case, image 1 means future communication is to be in 4 parts. Now, did I interpret it correctly? I don't know, but I believe that's correct. And this image is in that circle twice. Now, the second communication, the second one, it doesn't repeat itself. And it says, self-inflicted damage, limiting life. That's what the second image, and again, it's in the book. The third image is Earth is coming to a point in time of great change with outside assistance. That's always nice to know. Image 4 is diversity is to be embraced in your future as Earth becomes enlightened, as wars and all killing end. These are significant messages. It's literally as though this was, so these become a sentence, and where it's broken is the end of a paragraph. Okay, image 5. Primitive man ends as enlightenment. Earth begins to open, becoming an open armed member. Armed not being with a gun, open armed to embrace new concepts, new changes, new thought processes. We are entering at this particular time in Earth history a point of enlightenment. And it is across the globe, and it's not going to be stopped. And the evil and the enemies, the dark side, whatever you want to label it or call it, is on the run. They're in panic right now. That's why they're altering the truth. They're silencing people. Freedom of speech doesn't exist. Facebook is shutting people down. YouTube is shutting people down. Google is silencing people, and it's not going to work. They're in panic mode right now. So we who are trying to get to the truth have them on the run. So even if my interpretations of this are incorrect, I'm at least trying. I'm trying to understand the concept of we on this planet being the only forms of life in the world is ludicrous. That's asinine. It's obviously there are other forms of life in the universe, and for us to think not is truly very limited. It's very sad. We have to rise above the criticism of others as we move into the future. Be more open-minded. That's difficult for many people. But enlightenment is coming. People are waking up, and it's very, very good to see. Image 6 is we are here to help, and more help is on the way as Earth enters a phase of awakening, which is what I just talked about. Image 7, this is after the first image repeats itself. So this is the second paragraph. As previously stated, the four subjects: 1. Earth, present understanding of time; 2. New understanding of metamorphosis; 3. Aliens' first help; 4. Aliens' last stage of help and understanding are at this time positioning themselves closer to the changes coming to your future. All people should prepare for the truth. All people should prepare for the truth to come out. A lot of people don't want to hear the truth. They live in their little sealed brains, and nothing gets in and nothing comes out. And we have to try to waken those people up, because it's amazing what happens when you continuously show them the things that you've discovered, that you've looked at and you've decided that makes sense. Not what somebody else said. You look at it and you decide, because that's where it's going to come from. It's going to come from your heart. It's going to come from your examining it. So, stop being a sheeple, stop following the pack, and stop and look at things and see if what you're being told makes any sense. And if you find a lie, odds are there's a lot more inside there. And stop going with it. Listen to what other people are offering. Be open-minded. Even if what I'm sharing with you is stupid, frightening, it's still, I didn't create this crop circle. It appeared in August of 2016 in England. It can't be something that somebody made. Look at the detail of this. So it's something, you just have to be more open-minded to what's going on around you. It's not all very simple. It's not black and white. There's a lot more going on. So that's the communication that they're sending to us here. Image 8. Change has begun. Prepare to have a new understanding of time and matter with help. So there is help, and it, to me, is pretty clear that there's help. It's coming from many sources. Be open-minded. Look at this stuff, and stop the hatred and pushing people away, and be more open-minded, open-armed. Image 9. Change is coming in many forms with much knowledge if you can be open-minded and accept it. Again, they're repeating themselves. And the last image, image 10, all awakened begins on earth will open to their spirituality. So the more you open yourself up for new ideas, even if you don't like them, you open yourself up to it, the more spiritual you become. That which is what you truly are. We are all spiritual beings in these physical bodies, in this temporary life. We're here for such a short time. Life is over in a nanosecond, and your spirit moves on. peace and preservation of all life on the planet will occur. The knowledge of all other facets of time, space is coming. So clearly there's a lot more going on in the world, in the universe, than we have been told. We've been lied to all of our lives to suppress us and control us. And those few that are in power don't want that. This terrifies them. And therefore, as I understand, the best thing you can do is stop the hatred. Stop hating each other. Oh, he's black, he's white, he's a Jew, he's a Christian. Just stop it. And when a thought like that enters your mind, send it love. And what you're doing is you're changing the vibrational patterns of the world. You're helping in immense ways. I recently became aware of that, and I decided that from my heart chakra, I was going to stop watching violent programs, violent games. I wasn't going to do it anymore. And every time I had a thought of somebody that I don't like, I would send them, previously I would send them evil thoughts, and it would change my body. I could feel it. So when I changed and said, I'm just going to send them love. I don't like the guy and I'd like to kill him, but I'm just going to send him love. And literally, when I started doing that, for me, the heart chakra is green, and I just have these thoughts of green, and I would just send out love. And when I started doing it, amazing things started to happen. It was unbelievable how that simple little change in my mental attitude changed things for me in the physical world. I mean, literally, day by day, good things started to happen. It was amazing. People were more friendly. People were talking to me. And I didn't start the conversation. They came to me. It seems that when you change your aura and admit love, that people are drawn to that automatically. Open-minded people, we are becoming more enlightened. The whole planet is changing, and the ones that don't want this are doing everything they can to stop it, but they're not going to stop us. Anything they can do, I don't think they can stop us, even if they turn off all the power. It's not going to stop us from helping each other and admitting love. So that's basically what I wanted to expand on a little bit more, so people could understand how on earth I came up with this interpretation. And again, it's interpretation, subject to interpretation. You may look at it and have an entirely different interpretation. The spiritual guides that helped me with it may have a different interpretation than the original creator. But if you look at it very closely, each one of these paragraphs literally look like somebody drew it. It's somebody's handwriting. Because literally the same image that's on both sides is different. It's not a computer. It didn't come off a typewriter. It came off of somebody hand sketching this. So this has the mark of a physical hand writing in it, which is why I guess I was drawn to it. I don't know, but I was drawn to it, and I ended up putting it in the book. It just somehow came to me. So I want to thank you for watching this video, and I sincerely hope you enjoy it. Thank you.